Hey everybody, what's going on? Mike Rondo here, and today, this video, I want to talk about uh, being in a creative funk. Let me fix my camera here. There we go. That's what I wanted. And I don't. And it's kind of a weird, funky place that I'm at creatively, and even I guess life in a sense, because two things that have kind of taken a back seat, or I haven't been very, I don't know, passion for. And I had, now one of them is podcasting. So most of this is podcast relating, and I'll get to that in a second. But reading, I have a book, The Whisperer Man, which was a decent book. I got maybe 20, no, probably 10 chapters left. 10 chapters left, if I remember right. It's sitting right over there. And then I got another book that I was reading, Parasite, that I've set a couple of paragraphs. I was about 10 chapters in. I've seemed to have, for whatever reading, lost my interest in reading. And it's not the book or the authors or anything like that. I don't know what it is. I just kind of like, I don't feel like doing it. And then the other one is podcasting. Now, I walked away from the Cantina Cast officially 2 years ago, but I would make guest appearances, whatever. My last episode was on the May 16th of this year, because that was the day that we launched the Cantina Cast. That was our first episode ever in 2011. That was 10 years, and that was it. I was done podcasting pretty much. However, my friend Albert, who now hosts the Cantina Cast and hosts the Basement podcast, which covers Ready Player One, we seem to have this tradition where every year I come on and we talk about a Halloween movie. We first started with Halloween 1 and 2, and I think we did Jason last year, if I remember right. And then this year he wants to do Halloween 3, which is kind of a, I don't know if I'd really call it a Halloween movie, because it kind of is like the oddball. But anyway, on top of that, I've been kind of hesitant to even do that. Like, I really have no interest in podcasts at all anymore. But the funky, weird thing is, I have a lot of podcast ideas. And recently, I'd mentioned on this, back when Masters of the Universe Revelation was announced and all that other stuff, that we'd come back and do Motu, or Masters of the Universe, the many faces of Masters of the Universe, which is a podcast I did that covered Masters of the Universe. We'd break down the characters and stuff in the silly episodes, but fun, kind of like the Cantina Cast, but more goofy, if you will. But anyway, I'm smoking in my Christopher Morley pipe, which is a Rat Rays pipe, 158, I think the number is. But and I'm smoking Cornell and Deal's Morley's Best, hoping to be inspired by Christopher Morley here, which I gotta fix his thing here, because he's I gotta get a better thing or frame or something. But anyway, so we were gonna do that. Revelation came out, and Revelation was okay. I liked some things. I hated a lot of things. I thought some things were, well, I wouldn't say hate, but I disliked a lot of things. And I wasn't really too concerned. I did kind of a review on the channel. Wasn't too concerned with it. I know they got another part coming up at the end of November or the middle of November. I look forward to seeing how they go about it. Well, we never got back. Jonesy and I, who's also the co-host of the Cantina Cast and a good friend, we didn't jump into it. We didn't go back to do it. No real reason other than me having little desire to do it, and I don't know why. Like I said, I had all these podcast ideas, and I was going to launch this year in 2021. I was going to launch a podcast that covered the New Bedford highway murders, because true crime is one of my interests since I was 11 years old, and I wanted to do this. This is a kind of like a very passion project, kind of something I really want to do, but I can't give it the time and dedication and research that it deserves. So I've always kind of pushed it off. I want to do it. I just don't know what my issue is, other than those things. So, or am I coming up with excuses or whatever? The other thing is, recently, I even talked to my friend Alyssa on, she does a serial killing podcast, about doing a true crime podcast that covers the infamous true crime events that happened in the 1990s. Because there was a lot of interesting true crime things that were going on that some people have forgotten about, but talk about it occasionally. But I don't think people really understand the magnitude of a lot of those cases back in the day. So I thought about doing that, where I would just cover that decade of true crime, because I was a teenager at that point, becoming a young adult, and it was very fascinating. And that was probably where my true crime interest really grew back then. So it'd be interesting to cover. But again, I really have no desire to do it. I want to do it. I have it in my mind, like all these podcast ideas, but I have no oomph to do it. I don't know. I don't know what my problem is. I don't know if it's like I did podcasting for 10 years and I went for at least 6 of those years. So I went 100 miles an hour and tried everything I could under the sun to be the #1 podcast in Star Wars. And we had some good success, but it took a lot out of me. Of course, I had a co-host that was difficult, to say the least. And that took a lot out of me, and it ended on bad terms. So I don't know, because the interesting thing is, I started this channel like a year and a half ago, and I absolutely love sitting down, doing these videos. There's no pressure or anything. I'm not trying to get to 10 million subscribers or anything like that. I'll be happy if I get to 1,000. It's a goal, but I don't expect to get there. If I get there, great. But if I don't, oh well, no big deal. The group I have now, the 550 years or so, is pretty awesome to think. I didn't even think I'd get that far. But I do love sitting down, talking to the camera, interacting with you guys and gals, and just talking about pipes, pipe smoking, my Jeep, books, and whatnot. There's no pressure. But I don't know what my hesitation is to start podcasting again, or what my reason not to really is. I'm just kind of in this weird funk, and even reading is a big thing with me. I love reading. I read several books at once, really. I usually 5 books at a time. I do a little bit of this, then go to the other one, then come back to that. You know, I jump around quite a bit. And I got some great books over on the library, the Shed of Solitude library over there, that I got to get to. And, you know, maybe I'll get the juices flowing when winter starts to settle in, and I'll whip through those because it's winter or whatever. But I'm not sure where I got into this funk, because overall I'm very happy. I'm upbeat. I love life, and I'm not depressed like, you know, in the old days. I'm, you know, pretty good. My mind's pretty good. I know work, I'm taking on new responsibilities, a little bit of pressure there, and stress, but a good stress, because there's challenges there, and I'm hoping I can do them. But I don't know. I'm not sure what my problem is. It's like I want to say writer's block, but podcaster block, I guess. I don't know. On top of that, you know, this video stuff, I jumped into it not knowing anything about video, really, how to edit. And I edit my videos, but very limited. I just basically cut the first few seconds of the video and the last seconds, and if anything in between was stupid or too long or whatever, I'll cut that out. But for the most part, I just go from A to B. And so video is a challenge for me. It's something new and fresh, and I think that's why I love doing it. The next thing on my list, like kind of the thing I want to check off, is being an author. I want to write some stuff, and I have some ideas for that. And I bounced some ideas off of people that I trust and care about. And I'm not a writer. I don't know how to write, really. Since I haven't written anything since, what, college, really. And that was clown college, so I don't really count that as anything special, to be honest. And by clown college, I mean Community College of Rhode Island, so I call it clown college. Nothing serious. So I wanted to make this video, so if anyone's in that pod fade or struggling to stay in the podcast game or anything like that, I think half the other reason I have a problem to jump back in is because a lot of the podcasts now are just corporate. Like all the hosting platforms and Apple and whatnot, they all kind of sold into themselves into corporate stuff and let's make a lot of money type thing. And then the smaller podcasts kind of that were growing got kind of squeezed out and kind of pushed aside and not really a thought. You know, if they're not making us that much money, who gives a shit, right? So we're not going to focus on that. I get it. It's making money. I don't care. I'm all for capitalism. Do what you got to do. But just a little bit of a bitter taste like in your mouth where you're like, the effort that goes into podcasting, I don't think a lot of people will understand is quite a bit. I mean, even YouTube is, if you take it serious, like a lot of people do. I don't. I just kind of do my thing, but there are other people, channels that I follow. They do such a fantastic job. And I know it's hard. It's not easy. Podcasting is not easy. It's a lot of prepping and a lot of figuring things out, and it takes a lot out of you between the family, friends, your personal enjoyment and stuff. And I think I subconsciously maybe I don't want to jump back into that, and I feel like I'll lose time to do these videos, which I love to do. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll do it. I mean, life is short, right? So why not do the New Bedford Highway Killer podcast, right? Just go at it. You can figure that out. You can do the 90s true crime too as well in this, but I don't know. It's getting that motivation. It's tough. You know, you come home from work, you deal with that stuff, then you got family stuff and other stuff, and then you like now you want to do this, and it's like it's almost like the hill of getting over all of that to get into what you wanted to do, and then you know you get all that life stuff you got to deal with. Then there's a mountain that you have to climb with podcasting and all the stuff that goes into that. So it's like, oof, 1, 2, just to do one episode is a big hurdle. So I don't know. I can't call this a creative funk because here I am doing these videos, enjoying it and loving it. And, you know, I can't say that it's a creative funk. And even reading, it's feel like I'm not even inspired to read. So I don't know what the deal is because it's just weird. Hopefully I snap out of it. I usually do snap out of these funks in my life. Of course, we're getting into the winter, so seasonal affective disorder can kind of creep in on you, and you know your normal depression that you have to deal with, which I do. I seem to get a good grip on that in the last 4 years. But you get your seasonal disorder, affective disorder, where you're kind of like, ugh, it's 10 degrees out, I gotta go to work, all these things, and you kind of push yourself through those things. It's not easy. So I think I just gotta punch those demons in my head or whatever's in my mind saying, don't bother to do that. So I got to get over that. I don't know what's going to do it, how I'm going to do it, but I got to figure a way out of that. Anyway, there's really no point to this. I just wanted to get on here and kind of get it out, I guess. Maybe that'll help the process of me getting over whatever funk I'm in. I'm looking over those books there. There's one called The Plot, Brother, The Winter People, which I really want to read. I just don't have the mojo to do it. I don't know what my deal is. And even this month, it's gone by so fast. In September, I wanted to do videos on Halloween stuff, and that kind of just went... Of course, I've done a few things here and there, but I was going to go to a few locations, talk about things, and, you know, I still got a week left, but I don't think it's going to happen. It just kind of went away. I don't know. And even, you know, some YouTubers are like that. They come, they do their videos, a couple of videos, and then they kind of disappear. Then they come back. So it's tough. It's just rough to get motivated and keep doing that. I get this mosquito or something flying around in the shed here. I don't know where he went, but anyway, that's where my mindset is with creative stuff. I mean, I really love doing YouTube, and I could bring some different things to this channel, but I mean, this is mostly a pipe channel, sprinkled in with some Jeep Gladiator stuff, which I'll be getting to at some point. I just haven't done any mods or anything, and I'm waiting to hit 5,000 miles on it to do an update on that, and I haven't quite hit it yet. I'm getting there, but I'm just holding off on doing some stuff with that. There's some mods I want to do, but it costs the parts on in, so I can't do anything with that. So I'm holding off on that. But I did enjoy doing the review of like the creature from the Black Lagoon, Halloween Kills, little things here and there, just to mix things up. But I could bring true crime into this, but I'm very hesitant to do that. Because that's not really the big seller here. I tried that in the past. It wasn't the biggest seller, so I don't know. We'll see. But I do know this pipe, this tobacco is really good. So who knows? Like next week, I could snap out of this and announce that I got a new podcast coming out, which I'm kind of slowly inching towards doing it because the podcast for the 90s, with True Crime 90s podcast, wouldn't take up as much time as like the New Bedford Highway Killer. That's like, I would have to give up a lot of things to focus in on that, and I may do that. I don't know. I'm still debating it. It's something I want to do. Kind of my swan song in podcasting. Like that would probably be the last podcast I ever do, but you never say never, right? But the 90s one is more of commentary on those events in my experience because I lived them in a sense of, the voyeuristic way because it was on national TV all the time, these cases, or even on local news. There was some pretty big events in Rhode Island that happened. They got some national news, but not a lot, which is surprising, but that's because in the 90s there were a lot of true crime events that happened that were mind-boggling in a way. Now we're kind of desensitized to a lot of events that happen that are tragic. Yeah, sure, the news will jump on like a school shooting or stuff like that, or if they find a serial killer that's, not the normal run-of-the-mill serial, not that any of them are, but, they'll latch on that. Depends on the news cycle and what's hot and what they can ride and make money off of with the ads and stuff. But the 90s, it was happening quite a bit. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I know the New Bedford Highway Killer podcast, I get to a certain point of developing it, and then I say, nah, nope. There was one where I was going to do a philosophy podcast, and I got to a certain point, and then I was like, nope. And this was all within the last year and a half as well as when I've been doing this, so. I know a lot of people that follow me on my Facebook and my Instagram do encourage me to do the true crime thing because they know I get very much into the true crime stuff, but it's all me at the end of the day, and I appreciate their support, and I know they would listen and they'd like it, and I don't know what my problem is. But the good news is I have a pipe, great tobacco. I can sit here and ponder about this and figure things out. And I appreciate any advice you guys have in the comments below. If you want to chime in, if you won't, that's fine. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to really do it just so everyone knows who's into podcasting or creating. You're not alone in struggling with wanting to pursue this or continue this, because it's none of it's easy. So, and I just wanted to get it off my chest as well, just to let you guys know. I think it's important to show people that see other people online, social media or YouTube or podcasts, that we're human and we struggle with things and it's not perfect. And I think that's important. You can't show all the glitz and glamour. You got to show some of the lows as well. And I'm in this kind of, again, I'm not depressed. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. None of those emotions. I'm just in this weird, I can't figure out why I don't want to pursue these things or complete reading books for whatever reason. So, but anyway, I'm going to get out of here, smoke up the rest of my pipe, ponder more on this, and think about getting motivated to do these other things. I think I just need a smack or punch in the face to get where I need to go. And I think I just got bit by that bug. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.